Okay, everyone, we are back after what seems like a forever hiatus, but since it is the start of August, I thought it would be kind of an appropriate time to get into my goals planner. I've done this once per quarter, so it's about time for the quarter that we're in right now, even though it's the second of the month. If you're not familiar with quarters, it's based on like the fiscal year. So January, February, March is one quarter. April, May, June is the second. July, August, September, and then October, November, December. So this is the third quarter, and even though we're just at the start of the middle of it, I wanted to make sure I don't just let it slide and not fill it in. So if you haven't seen this yet before, the setup of my goals planner, I long before I got into like a paper planning hobby, I would just use a computer printed paper and make my own inserts, bind it at like a Kinko's, FedEx, and work off of that. But this is a bit more fun to kind of pull it all together. And I think I found planner peace in this about the beginning, towards the middle of the beginning of the year. And I really do like the setup. So I have, for the year, I have just a general overall word of the year and some focus areas. Over 2022, what do I want to get done, really? And I usually set this up in December, going into the next year. And I base quarterly setups around to make sure I'm tracking towards each of these goals. And each of these, like physical, mental, to do, financial, focus, to try, I split this up into areas so you can see wellness, personal, financial, home, career, so that each section gets its own dedicated space. It's just how my brain works. I don't know if you would agree with me, but then just a year overview. So what I do, I set up the quarterly, the first quarter I set it up this way, and then mark down what I did get done, and then second quarter I set up this way, and what I did get done. So then now it's time to do the third quarter, so July through September, and I just wrote some estimates down. And so really today is going to be, or this video is going to be, a setup of what it looks like for the quarter and how I based it off of everything I've kind of projected for myself earlier on. Back here, these 5-year plan inserts are from Cloth and Paper, and I really like it because they break down the 5-year into the sections, and that's kind of where I set up each individual section. So you don't have to do that and kind of go extra on that. You can just have one little itty bitty section in a planner where the whole thing is just one 5-year plan. But I'm a planner. I've always liked to set goals for myself. It's how I work best. And so if you want to take a tip from me, that's what I did. So then every little section has its own projection here. So that this is wellness or self-care. This is from Planner Press. I love her cards. Check her out if you haven't. And then for self-care, wellness, what are the focus areas? And then I can set up my 5-year plan for that. 5-year plan, objectives, vision board. Same with personal and career and finances, and then home. So eventually we will be building our home, just not right now in this economy and with the expense of all of the things going in. So with that, I will kind of set up with you all, and I just estimated based on how the last quarter was going and kind of like the twists and turns it took. to think of what would be some good for July, August, September. Now, this July was planned before, so July is past. So I get to write in for July and now basically check it off or not. So I'll try to be honest with myself and look at what I projected and then write it in. But then, same for August and September. I'm going to say, since today's the 6th, I still have a decent amount of time to try and get these things done. And so with that, I'm going to do a setup. Sometimes I do a lot of color coding in my other planners. This is just my habit tracker. If you want to see a video of this by itself, let me know. I haven't done one in a while, but I also haven't done it because the setup hasn't really changed. But I do love it. And if you're new here and would like for me to go over that, or if you're not new and still want me to, let me know. But I keep a lot of the Tombos in the back here, so I'm going to take them out and use them in this setup, and hopefully not lose one behind the desk. We'll go from there. Okay, I'll take my trusty pen. Here it is. So, if this one runs a little bit. That's it. So I hope you stick around. This too was one of the goals, setting up my personal line. I have been using it religiously. So again, I think I just recently filmed a setup, but being able to go in and kind of look at what's upcoming and what I wrote here and really make sure that I'm factoring in everything that is also upcoming to track, to show I am reaching towards my goals is always helpful. So I'm gonna pause here and then set it up. I hope you do stick around. If you have any questions about the process, please don't hesitate to let me know below, and I'll catch you on the other side. So we're back. As you can see, it looks a little different than the last couple months, but that's how life happens. So started out planning for the quarter and got a curveball. So yeah, this quarter looks a little different. Um, it's extremely hectic. My husband and I are on a fertility journey. We weren't getting pregnant, and so now, we get to deal with that as 1 and 8, and figure that out as we go. Um, it's been really stressful. It's partly why I haven't been filming as much. You're basically on call anytime you have to run and get blood drawn and get other tests and schedule appointments and hear the news, and we switch doctors because they don't have any bedside manner, and we've been finding things out as we go. They give us hardly any information and start down a road, and then we learn something right as we're about to start the next step that sets us back. So 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, it feels like this quarter. So among that, that's been thrown into our plan of I'm still planning to apply to schools and take my GMAT course, and that's every weekend for 8 weeks, 7 practice tests. Among that, working with a company to help along the way to get to plan for graduate school. They're very busy, so trying to also balance when I can meet with them and connect and discuss a plan. Studying for the GMAT and taking practice tests, I realized I'm falling into the same trap or the same things I experienced with other standardized tests in a graduate school. A little bit of dyslexia, a little bit of reading comprehension problems. So I went and I got a diagnostic done on that and found that I do have low comprehension but high skill, and my frustration comes from being intelligent and in one area just not being, my brain not able to keep up with my intelligence, and then that frustration happens and it just takes me longer to get the same things done. I was never tested growing up. I did talk to my family about it and they told me I didn't need it, so I just went undiagnosed for the majority of my life. So it's been a journey, and so here I am at 37, kind of going to speech pathology as an adult because, one, I do want to succeed in graduate school. I do want to succeed on a GMAT test, which determines my fate. I do want to succeed at work and get help with my comprehension and my memory. I also had a lot to do with losing my job at the beginning of the pandemic. I had a lot of PTSD around that. My memory hasn't really been the same. It was really, really traumatic, and now I'm experiencing what that is like for the first time. So it has been a whirlwind to say the least. So I've had, now that maybe you know why the videos haven't been posting, trying to keep up with graduate school prep and studying for the GMAT, knowing it takes me 2, 3, 4 times as long to study and comprehend the same amount as anyone else. It's just what I've adapted to and what I've done my entire life, but now I just have a diagnosis around it. Fertility calls and appointments around the clock most days. Trying to also balance sleep and the demands of family. My mom was supposed to move July 1st again, and that fell through, and that was a headache for an entire month, and she did just move on the 2nd. Plenty of doctor's visits, but like regular doctor's appointments, like an eye doctor and scheduling the dentist. So really this whole quarter is like, really take care of yourself because life is throwing a curveball. I did book a vacation for us for the first week of September where we're just going to close out the world and avoid everything and focus on ourselves and each other and kind of let that cortisol drop from what has been this quarter. I'm trying to also narrow down my school selection. A lot is up in the air depending on what's happening with infertility and IVF and what's happening with my mom and family and the job, and there's a lot to balance. I appreciate all of you hanging in there, and being loyal and still watching the videos and chiming in. But I mean, if you're going through any of this or a fraction of any of this, I am in your corner and I am right there with you. So we can do hard things. That is definitely something I've known and I've learned, and it's been a lot more apparent. So tried to prepare for the move. My mom doesn't know a lot of what's going on. She doesn't also really ask too much. We've also been in, some therapy sessions there to work on that relationship, because I just need support and want to feel loved, and not like I'm failing consistently but not doing enough. I have a lot going on, and it's just something that we do, and I believe in being transparent with all of you, as a planner, and hoping for the best. Sometimes for a while I wasn't planning because I just, there was a curveball every week, and I got back into it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it because I enjoy it. It's a target, it's something to strive for, it's something to reach for, it keeps me on track. I'm able to schedule in self-care more than I ever have been able to before. Really draw, you saw the beginning of the year, one of my main goals was boundaries, and that's because there's just a lot, setting boundaries was huge. I have to, because a lot of time I've found that if people don't understand, it's almost like people sometimes need to know absolutely everything going in your life before they grant any grace. And I sat this here this morning as my little, Easter egg for all of you, all my little hidden messages, week over week. Choose grace, grace with yourself, grace for others. You never know what anyone else is going through. You can give yourself grace when you're going through a really hard time. Accept grace of others that they may not know what they're doing, and accept them for that, and grant grace for that, and just stick to your guns and know that it's between you and you yourself and the higher powers in the universe, whatever you are believing in. So it's busy, so it's largely focused on, don't forget to squeeze in the self-care. I got back to the gym in June and July. August, trying to now do my Bowflex during the week, a couple times a week, get to the gym for squats on Saturdays, stay focused and let my homework and my school research and my GMAT class come before a lot of things. Faith and my husband, and then school, and our fertility journey, and then sleep and self-care, and then everybody else's needs. And I'm finding this quarter that other people will not be as understanding and will not give as much grace unless they know absolutely all of the details. It's been very hard, but I just know we'll all reap rewards in the end, and just one day at a time, really one day at a time. Hope for the best, focus on yourself, and hopefully next quarter is going to look totally different, and we'll see. But it's been a good year, really, in terms of the boundaries I've been setting, and what's happening. So we'll just keep at it, and I'm going to continue to post as much as I can, and know that it is fun for me, it's important for me. I believe that there's a lot of content that not everyone covers that people might need to hear. So I hope my channel is that for all of you. And that'll wrap up the quarter. I'll try to check in a bit more and let you know how it's going. It'll help keep me on track and let you know what's going on. Hopefully be a source of inspiration for all of you if you have a lot going on too. I'm here for you, and I'm in your corner. So let me know how you're doing this quarter, how your goals are going. I always love hearing from you. I really do. It just makes my day. And I hope that this is helpful. I just I started this channel hoping that it would help people. So if it's helping you, let me know below. Otherwise, you know, you can just quietly watch and check in, and I appreciate that too. But until next time, everyone, I hope that you're able to chase your goals, and you know, if you miss a few months, get right back on. That is equally as important and equally as admirable as, you know, grinding it out every day. Any progress is progress, and I want you to remember that. And of course, you know, choose grace, give yourself some grace. You are worthy of it. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye all.